Okay, so we did a number of problems based on solving quadratic equations, how to obtain equations using the roots and the nature of roots, what is the product of roots, what is the sum of roots. Now we'll move over to word problems that are based on quadratic equations. We'll solve a few of them and some of them we can do by the elimination process. So we'll quickly browse through a number of them. Let's see what we have in hand. Okay. So we have a situation here that sum of two numbers is 8 and the sum of the squares is 34. Taking one number as x, form an equation in x. Hence, find the numbers. So sum of two numbers is 8. So if one number is x, the other number has to be 8 minus x because the sum is 8. And sum of their squares, so that is x square plus 8 minus x the whole square is 34. So we get x square and here you get 64 minus 16x plus x square minus 34 is equal to 0. So this gives you x square plus x square 2x square minus 16x. And 64 minus 34 is 30 is 0. You can divide by 2 and you get x square minus 8x plus 15 is 0. And you can solve it. Another way that is there is you can just check up some of these how we can, and this is out of question because the sum is definitely not 8. The sum, all the three remaining sum their squares, 4 square 16 plus 4 square 16 is 32, so it's not 34 out of question. This one 2 square 4 16, 6 square 36, 36 plus 16 is 52, so this is out of question. So we can do by substitution, which is 3 plus 5 is 8. Sum of the square 3 square 9 plus 5 square 25, 9 plus 25 is 34. Or on solving this equation, we are bound to get x as 3 or x as 5. We can get x would be 3, x is 5, x is 3, 8 minus x is going to be 5, x is 5, 8 minus 5 is going to be 3. So our correct option is going to be 3, 5. And yes, we do have it as 3, 5. And then we have the next question which goes this way. So what we have here is the difference of two positive integers is 3 and the sum of their squares is 89. Taking the smaller integer as x, form a quadratic equation and solve it to find the integers. So you're taking the smaller integer as x and the difference is 3. So the smaller integer is x, the bigger integer is going to be 3 more than that is x plus 3. So our equation is going to be x square plus x plus 3 the whole square is equal to 89. This one solving will give you x square plus 6x plus 9 minus 89 is 0. This will give you 2x square plus 6x minus 80 is equal to 0. You can divide by 2. You get x square plus 3x minus 40 is 0. On solving it, you'll end up getting x as minus 8 or x as 5. We'll get x as minus 8 or x. You'll have to discard this value because it's told they are positive integers. So it's going to be x is equal to 5. In that case, the next one is going to be 8. We can check it up and see 5 square is 25. 8 square is 64. 25 plus 64 is 89. Or as I say, you can square it and add and see 49 plus 16. We have 65, which is not possible. This also 9 plus 36, 45, it won't work, and this is 4 plus 25, 29, it won't. So the option is 5, 8. So hence we solve it this way and we get it. And you have the option as 5, 8. Okay. Then here you have a situation wherein 5 times of a positive whole number is 3 less than twice the square of the number. Twice the square of the number is 2x square. 5 times is 5x. So 2x square minus 5x is turning out to be 3. That means 5 times positive whole number is less than twice of square of the same number by 3. That is the difference between them is 3. This will give you 2x square minus 5x minus 3 is 0. If you take 2 into minus 3 is minus 6, so you get 2x square minus 6x plus x minus 3 is 0. Right? This will, if you solve it, you will end up getting x as 3, or you will get x as some kind minus half or something you will end up getting. So, and hence in such a case, this is obviously going to be discarded away, so it's going to be x is 3. So the positive number has to be 3. If you see, twice the square of this is 2 into 3 square 9. 2 9s are 18, and 5 times 3 is 15. 18 minus 5 is 15 is 3. So among these, the option is 3. When you form the equation this way, you get the option as 3. So what do we have here? Yes, we do have it as 3. Okay. The area of a rectangular field is 2000 square meters and its perimeter is 180 meters. Now form a quadratic equation by taking the length of the field as x and solve it to find the length and breadth. So if you take the breadth as b, the perimeter, which is going to be 2 times x plus the breadth, is equal to 180. Divide by 2, you get x plus breadth is 90. That means breadth is going to be 90 minus x, while the length is going to be x. So length is x, hence breadth is going to be 90 minus x. And the area of the rectangular field is 2000 square meters, which means length into breadth. X bracket 90 minus x is equal to 2000. So this will give you minus x square plus 90x is equal to 2000. You can take everything to that side and you get x square minus 90x plus 2000 is equal to 0. So you solve it. The splitting would be minus 40x minus 50x. So x would be 40 and or x would be 50. Now if you take x as 40, in that case breadth would become 90 minus 40, 50, which is out of question. So we cannot take length as 40, because if length is 40, then breadth will become more than the length. So the option is going to be x is 40. If x is 40, breadth is going to be 90 minus 40, 50. So it's going to be 50 meters and 40 meters. You can check it up. 50 into 40 is 2000. This into this is out of question. The product is definitely not 2000. This product is also 3000. So this product is 2000. Check for the other condition. 2 times length plus breadth, that is 2 times 50 plus 40 is 180. So here you can do by, because these two are clearly not possible, because their area or the product of length and breadth is definitely not 2000. But here it is. So check for the second condition. So length is going to be 50 and breadth will be 90 minus 50, 40. So the length and breadth are 50 and 40. And yes, we do have that as 50 and 40. Okay, from here where do we go? We have, okay, the two squares have sides p centimeters and p plus 5 centimeters. The sum of their squares is 625. Right? The sides of the square are so and so. Now, that means side of one side square is going to be more than that by 5. So this is definitely not possible, because here the difference, this is 20 more. This is also not possible, 12 and 25, because 25 is 13 more than 12. This could be possible because one side is bigger than this. Now find the area of this square is going to be 15 square, which is 225. This one's square is 20 square, 400. And if you sum their areas, it is turning out to be 625. So among these, This seems to be the option. So without solving it, we can do it. The other option is solve the equation. You get p square plus p plus 5 the whole square is 625, and we solve it accordingly. Alright, so our man here is 15 centimeters and 20 centimeters. Okay, and yes, we do that. Have that one as the right answer. Okay. Okay. Now here we have a situation here. Divide 50 into two parts such that the sum of the reciprocals is 1 by 12. That means if one part is x, the other part is going to be 50 minus x. Sum of the reciprocals is 1 by 12. So 1 by x plus 1 upon 50 minus x is equal to 1 by 12. Right. Now, so now we have this kind of a situation. So in that case, this means we take LCM, we get 50 minus x plus x upon x into 50 minus x is equal to 1 by 12. This gets cancelled. Cross multiply, you get 600 is equal to 50x minus x square. So x square minus 50x plus 600 is 0. This on solving will give x is equal to 30 or x is equal to 20. So form the equation and you get x as 30 or x as 20. So that means the two parts are 20 and 30. If you take x as 30, in that case the other part will be 50 minus 30, 20. If you take x as 20, the other part is 50 minus 20, 30. Since the order is not important, the numbers are definitely 30 and 20. These are the numbers such that if you take the reciprocals and add, you will get the result as 1 by 12. Right? Okay, and yes, we do have that as the answer. Okay, now here we have, there are two consecutive numbers such that the difference of the reciprocals is 1 by 240. Right? The numbers are what? The difference is 1 upon 240. Difference of the reciprocal. So two consecutive numbers if you have, they could be x and x plus 1. So that means their reciprocals are 1 by x plus 1 upon x plus 1 is equal to 1 upon 240. 1 upon, consider the difference. Oh, I'm sorry. It is a difference over here. So you got this off, and it is 1 by x minus 1 upon x plus 1 is 1 by 240. Even here, we can check it up in some way. The chances of this and this are out of question. If you see 17 and 18, their LCM is definitely not 240 or anywhere near that. 13, 14 LCM could not be this either. The chances of this being the reciprocal is more. We can even check by substituting. You get 1 by 15 minus 1 by 16. Yes, 1 by 15 and 1 by 16. The LCM is 240. 240 by 15 is 16. 240 by 16 is 15. 16 minus 15 is 1 by 40. One way of checking is because the LCM of 15 and 16 is 240, that has to feature in the denominator. So this LCM is definitely not 240. So anyways, so this is the way we can do by substitution. But however, if you want to solve the equation, you get x plus 1 minus x upon x bracket x plus 1 is 1 upon 240. This gets cancelled. Cross multiplying, you get x square plus x minus 240 is 0. Go on the equation, this will also splitting it up as x square plus 16x minus 15x minus 240 is what is the splitting, and this on solving will give you x is 15 or x is minus 16. We'll discard away x is minus 16 because in the given answers there are no negative numbers. So we will take x as 15. So the next number will be 15 plus 1, 16. Or think logically, none of these numbers could have the LCM as 240. So it most probably could be this. So check this up in any case. Okay. So we have the numbers as 15 and 16. Okay. Here you have hypotenuse of a right angle triangle is 20 centimeters. So there is a right angle triangle in the hypotenuse is 20 centimeters. The difference between the other two sides is 4. So you take this as x and this as 4. Now we have to check among these. If it is a right angle triangle, this is out of question because the hypotenuse itself is 20. So none of the other two sides can be equal to or greater than this. It can only be less than 20. So this is out of question. Now 11 and 15 chances are very, very less because 11 square is 121 and 15 square is 225. So those ones on adding do not get 20 square. It's all possible between this 12 and 16. So if you see 12 square is 144, 16 square is 256, 12 square plus 16 square is 400, which is the same as 20 square. That means if you take x as 12 and y as 16, the sum of their squares is equal to, using Pythagoras theorem. So the answer is going to be 12 and 16. The other way of forming the equation is going to be x square plus x plus 4 the whole square is 20 square. That will give you x square plus x square minus 400 minus 384 is 0. So you divide by 2, you get x square plus 4x minus 192 is 0. This one on splitting gives you x square plus 16x minus 12x. A minus 192 is 0. And this could also be. So it's going to be 12 and 16 is what is the right answer. And yes, that's what we get here. Okay. Let's see what we have next. Okay. So here we have a question. Sum of two numbers is 45. It could be say 40 and 5 or any such thing. And the mean proportional between them is 18. That means the product of the numbers has to be 18 square. Product of the numbers is going to be 18 square. Now 18 square is going to be 324 if you are not mistaken. So this into this is definitely not, the sum is 45 but their product is 450. Here also it's going to be something ending with 6, definitely not 324. 36 plus 9 is 45, 36 into 9, yes, it could be ending with 5. 36 into 9 is 324, which is the same as 18 square. This is also out of question. If you see, their sum is 45 and their product is 18. The product is 18 square. That means 18 is a mean proportional of 36 and 9. So the option is this. When it comes to formation of the equation, it means that one number is x and the other number is 45 minus x. This is equal to 18 square. That is 324. This is the equation you get, which means you need to solve the equation as x square minus 45x plus 324 is 0, which will split up it as 36 and 9. So the option is 36 and 9. And yes, we do have that as the option here. From here, where do we go to? Okay. Now, there is an equilateral triangle. and its sides are suppose x, x and x. It could be x, could be something. Then using this are shortened by 12, 13 and 14 units, and you get a right angle triangle. So the hypotenuse among these cannot be x minus 13, x minus 14, because hypotenuse is the longest side, x minus 12. Then it will be x minus 13 and x minus 14. Now we have to check which among these options could it be. So if you look at it, suppose we take this 16, suppose is the side, 16 minus 12 is 4, 16 minus 13 is 3, 16 minus 14 is 2. Now 3 square plus 12 square is 9 plus 4, 13 and 4 square is 16. Hence this will not be possible. Suppose x was 15, that is the side of the equilateral triangle was 15. Then 15 minus 12 is 3, would be the hypotenuse. 15 minus 13 is 2. 15 minus 14 is 1. 1 square plus 2 square, that is, will become 5, which is not the same as 3 square. So this is also not possible. Maybe this, if it is this, if the side of the equilateral triangle is 17, 17 minus 12 is 5, 17 minus 13, 4, and 17 minus 14, 3. Yes, here the biggest side square is 3 square plus 4 square. 25 is equal to 9 plus 16. So this would be the answer. Otherwise, when it comes to form the equation, it could be x square, x minus 12, the whole square would be x minus 13, the whole square, plus x minus 14, the whole square, which will be x square minus 24x plus 144 is equal to x square minus 26x plus 169, 28x plus 196. Now if you simplify this, you get an equation, and then we can solve it, and we could get the sides as 3, 5 and 4. That means the side of the equilateral triangle has to be 17. Let's check this, and yes, and we do have it that way. Okay, further. Okay, here we have a situation. A distributor of apple juice has 5,000 bottles in the store that it wishes to distribute in a month. From the experience, it is known that demand in number of bottles is given by D is equal to minus 2000 B square plus 2000 B plus 17,000. The price per bottle, that will result in zero inventory. Now the inventory will be zero when the demand and supply, the demand is met by the supply. That means whatever is the number of bottles available in the store is what is actually required by demand. That means the entire 5,000 bottles are going to be distributed in this form. In other words, D would be equal to 5,000. In that case, there will be no inventory available because everything has gone into use to satisfy the demand. So in that case, the same equation will turn out to be minus 2000 P square plus 2000 P plus 17,000 is equal to 5,000. Right? If you simplify this, divide by minus 2000 throughout, you will get P square minus P minus 2000, you can divide by coincidence, so it's going to be hence minus 2.5, so 17 is going to be minus 8.5 is equal to minus 2.5, and this will turn out to be P square minus P minus 6 is equal to 0. And this, if you simplify it, make it, this will turn out to be 17 minus 5, 12,000, and then divide by 2, which will also give the same. This one simplifying will give you P is equal to 3, P is 3 or P is equal to minus 2. Now obviously, this is going to be D, not P, it's P. So P is equal to minus 2 or P is equal to 3. Obviously P is equal to minus 2 is not possible because price can never be negative. So price per bottle has to be kept as rupees 3. So this is how we can logically understand that the inventory has to be 0, which means that the entire available stock of 5,000 bottles is used to clear the demand. Hence we get it this way. So price per bottle that will result in 0 inventory is rupees 3. And yes, we do have it that way. The next sum, the next question we have is, okay, the sum of two irrational numbers multiplied by the larger one is 70 and the difference is multiplied by the smaller one is 12. The two numbers are what? Now this one is a little dicey. We can do it by two methods. Now the chances of it being this and this are none, because we said that the sum of the rational number multiplied, now this and this on adding multiplied by either of them can never give. If you add these two and multiply it by the bigger number, you're never going to get a rational number like this. Much the same way, the sum of these two or difference of this multiplied by smaller one or multiplied by the bigger one, because these are unlike irrational numbers. So root 2 and root 5 cannot be added. So these two cannot be added, and if they are added and multiplied, they are not going to get a rational number. So chances is it could be this. Let us check this up. 2 root 2 plus 5 root 2 is 7 root 2. If this is multiplied by the larger one, that is into 5 root 2, which will turn out to be 35 into root 2 square, you get 70. Yes. If you consider the difference, 5 root 2 minus 2 root 2 is 3 root 2 multiplied by the smaller one, that is into 2 root 2. So you get what? 6 into root 2 square, 6 into 2, 12, which is what we want. So the option is going to be 2 root 2 and 5 root 2. Another way of doing it is you can take the larger number as this. So you get x plus y into x is 70, which is the same as telling xy plus x square is 70, and the difference multiplied by the small x minus y into y is equal to 12. This would give you xy minus y square is equal to 12. So if you subtract these two equations, if you subtract 1, you have to solve it like simultaneously. If you subtract them, you get xy and minus xy get cancelled and you get x square plus y square. If you see, subtract x square plus y square is equal to 58. This means y square, y will turn out to be 58 minus x square, and hence this will give you y is equal to root of 58 minus x square. This value you can substitute in this equation. So you get x minus y, xy, which is the same as x into root 58 minus x square minus y square, that is minus of 58 minus x square is equal to 12 you get, which would be the same as x into root 58 minus x square will turn out to be 12 plus 58 minus x square, and this will give you x root 58 minus x square is equal to 70 minus x square. This you need to square on both sides and you get x square into 58 minus x square is equal to 70 minus x square, which would be 4900 the whole square. So 4900 minus 140 x square plus square of this, that is x raised to 4. This we need to simplify and get an equation in the form x raised to 4 plus some term x squared plus something is equal to 0. And in this case, we have to split the middle term and you will get it in this form. But as you see, this is making it a longer, as a procedure it is becoming a little longer because you need to square and then you get an equation in degree 4, you need to do substitution. It's better to do by the elimination process, as I told you, as how these two on adding cannot give this condition in any case. So we check up for the only possible case. So our option is going to be 2 root 2 and 5 root 2. And yes, we do have the option as 2 root 2 and 5 root 2. Okay, so the next one is an interesting one. You have area of rectangular garden is 8,000 square meters. Ratio in length and breadth is 5:4. So let's make a diagram for this. So we have a rectangle here. And the length and breadth are in the ratio. So you can take the length as 5x and the breadth as 4x. A path of uniform width runs all around the inside of the garden. If the path occupies 3,200 meters square, what is the width of the path? So here you have the path. Now first thing that is there is we can actually find this out. That area of the rectangular garden is 8,000, that is 5x into 4x, that is 20x square is 8,000, and this will give you x square as 400, and hence x is 20. That means this is going to be 100 and this is going to be 4 into 20, 80. So the length and breadth are 180. Now suppose this is y, that is the width of the path is y, and this is 80. So this much is going to be 80 minus y, that is 80 minus 2y. Same way, if this is 100 and this is y, this much is going to be 100 minus y, 100 minus 2y. So the area of the inner part is going to be 80 minus 2y into 100 minus 2y. Is going to be the length into breadth, and the area of the garden, outer garden, is going to be 8,000. So the area of the outer garden minus the area of the inner garden is the area of this footpath, which is given to be 3,200. Right. So now if you open this bracket, you get 8,000 minus 8,000. And here you have minus 160 minus 160y minus 200y is minus 360y plus 4y square is 3,200. This, on opening the bracket, will give you 8,000 minus 8,000 plus 360y minus 4y square is 3,200. This of course gets eliminated. Divide by 4 throughout and then take it to the other side. You get y square minus 90y is equal to 800. Y square minus 90y minus 800 is, plus 800 is 0. Now if you simplify this, solve this, you'll end up getting y is 10 or y is 80. Because this is going to split. Now y is 80 is out of question because of the width, total width itself is 80. So this footpath is inside, so width cannot be 80. So it can be at the most 10. And you get y is equal to 10. So the only option among these is 10. 4, 6 and 12 do not cater to our equation. So the length of the path is going to be 10, and this is how we get it. Okay.